100, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5.
Hello and welcome to Cardiff. Spring has arrived and temperatures are on the rise. The airport is getting really busy with multiple new airlines starting operations at the airport. One of those new arrivals is this Embraer ERJ145 of Luxair. The cabin crew is just finishing up preparing the cabin for the passengers, which will be boarding the aircraft within the next 10 minutes, after which the aircraft will be flying to Luxembourg. Then this Bombardier Dash 8 Q400 came in 40 minutes ago from Edinburgh and is now getting ready for its next flight, which is scheduled to go out to Liverpool in 20 minutes. Next to the Flybe, we have a ERJ145 of Lot Polish Airlines, which is serving the route to Warsaw today. The aircraft came in at 5 minutes to 9 and will stay in Cardiff until 9:45. After Bus left Cardiff, the route to Zurich had been abandoned until now, where the new Swiss airline, Helvetic Airways, has taken over the route. This Fokker 100 is just now pulling into the ramp and will start its turnaround with a scheduled departure time at 10 minutes past 10. Then we have an Airbus A320 of Iberia that is serving the route to Madrid. The aircraft still has about 30 minutes on the ground and is just starting to get loaded with luggage for its return flight while the cabin is being cleaned. Another news site at the airport is the 757-200 of Iceland Air. The aircraft arrived 20 minutes ago and is currently offloading the last pieces of luggage before preparations will start for its return flight to Keflavik, scheduled at 20 minutes past 10 in the morning. A little further in its departure preparations is the 737-800 of Turkish Airlines that only has 20 minutes left until its scheduled departure time for its return flight to Istanbul. In pushback right now is the 737-500 of Estonian Air that arrived earlier this morning from the Estonian capital of Tallinn to where it will return now. Now before we head out to the remote stands, it's time for the news. KLM announces route to Cardiff. Since the Dutch airline sold its former subsidiary Buzz to Ryanair, KLM hasn't been represented at Cardiff Airport. Now the airline has announced to yet again serve the Amsterdam route. Ryanair warns Cardiff about possible withdrawal as disagreement on airport fees escalates. It was not possible to get a statement from the airport management. Olympic announces frequency increase over summer to facilitate expected traffic increase during the 2004 Summer Olympics in Athens. Foundation for terminal expansion completed ahead of schedule. Meanwhile, first works on new apron section in connection with the terminal expansion has started. Following the announcement that British Airways will be expanding its maintenance base at Cardiff Airport, construction works for a new hangar capable of handling wide-body aircraft has started. Over at the remote stands we find this Embraer ERJ145 of BMI that today has been deployed on the London Heathrow route. The aircraft arrived only 10 minutes ago and is right now deboarding passengers who will be brought to the terminal by bus. Then we have the 737-300 of Air Baltic that is in the middle of its turnaround, taking on some catering right now. Due to the amount of traffic at the airport, ground crews are struggling to keep up and help themselves out by temporarily removing the stairs to use them at another aircraft. Only 20 minutes left in its turnaround has the CRJ-200 of Air Dolomiti, which right now is being refueled before it will take on passengers for its flight to Verona. The aircraft that ground crews had used the stairs of the Air Baltic flight from was the 737-700 of Hapag-Lloyd Express that however now has been pushed back for its flight to Hanover, so the air stairs can be pushed over to the Air Baltic again. Then we have this Embraer ERJ-145 of British Airways resting on the tarmac. This aircraft came in this morning from Glasgow and has been pulled from active service and remains here as part of the tactical reserve ready to be deployed if needed. So much busier than the BA is this EasyJet Go 737-300, which currently is boarding passengers for its next flight, which will bring the aircraft to Rome in Italy. Then we have this Mad Dog MD-81 of Scandinavian Airlines. Now, buses with passengers have pulled up to the aircraft, but are still waiting for the signal from the crew. This will likely still take a few minutes, so passengers will have to wait a little while longer to board their aircraft to Copenhagen. And now let's head over to our furthest remote stands and the maintenance area. Holding short is this Boeing 737-800 of Turkish carrier Pegasus Airlines that also only recently has started flying charter traffic to and from Cardiff. The aircraft is waiting for its clearance for its flight back to Izmir at the Mediterranean Sea. On short final is the 737-800 of SunExpress, which is arriving from Antalya with returning Welsh tourists. It will have about 1 hour here in Cardiff before it will fly back out with a new batch of tourists to Antalya. Over at the widebody stand we have an all-white 777F, which is operating a cargo flight on behalf of UPS. The aircraft came in from Louisville in the middle of the night and will later this afternoon be flying all the way to Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. Then we have a 737-300 of EasyJet Go, which came in from Venice late yesterday evening and has been sitting here ever since. It's not known when or where the aircraft will be deployed to next. Then we have the crashed Spanair still sitting here. The aircraft still hasn't been released by investigators, but of course we know by now that the aircraft will be scrapped as the damage on the airframe is too extensive to be repaired. Just like the rest of the airport, BA maintenance is also quite busy at the moment, as this ERJ-145 has just finished an inspection and later this day will return to service with a flight to Edinburgh. Now with that we have reached the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed the video, then hit that like button, and if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe. With that, see you in the next episode of Cardiff.